those are different ways that AI is in our life already for quite some time. And really, really be a 3-year-old and ask questions. The reason this works well with Agentforce is because Agentforce is native to Salesforce.
We've built it and we failed, and we know how to build it, better.
If you haven't started yet, you have to start now, because the future is with AI, and it, again, it's not replacing us, but it's making our lives easier.
Hello and welcome to The Concrete Voice. My name is Arthur Ambartsumian, your trusted guide to everything commercial real estate and technology. And today we are talking about Agentforce, a new Salesforce platform for AI agents, and what it means for commercial real estate. Is there real potential of changing how our industry works? And our guest today is Andrea Carvalho. She is a principal Salesforce technical instructor who is really passionate about helping people to understand and use Salesforce technology effectively. Let's start with your story, Andrea.
It's a long story. Let me see how I can resume. So thank you so much for having me here. As you said, I'm Andrea Carvalho. I'm a principal technical instructor in Salesforce, but I've been teaching for a while. My journey started in Brazil, where I was born, and I moved to Canada about almost 20 years ago. And when I got to Canada, I couldn't find a job in my own field of marketing, but I ended up doing sales. Coincidentally, the company I started working implemented Salesforce. So that was back in 2008, and that was my first interaction with Salesforce. The interface was completely different, so I've been through a few changes over the years. And I didn't just jump in Salesforce. I actually became an SME. I was supporting the implementation for partners. And at one point, there was a little bit of a conflict because I didn't have the technology background. So I was direct to, okay, so you don't know what you're talking about. And I said, okay, I will know what I'm talking about. So I went there, I talked to my manager, set up a study plan, and became the first person certified in that organization.
Nice.
So I came back and I say, hey, I want to get more involvement. And sometimes in order to grow, you need to move, right? Because there's not a lot of space. So that's what I did. I went to another organization where I got the opportunity to implement for 50 users, 60,000 records migration. I did that solo implementation, which was great learning activity. From there, I went to another project and another project. And that urge of going back and teaching was on me. So I reached out to my original instructor and said, hey, I want to become an instructor. And it's like, it's not easy. It is a lot of work. There is a lot of studying involved. Are you sure about that? And it's like, yes, I want to do that. So he sat down with me. He explained what it was the day-to-day, what was entailed. So I decided to apply to the program. That was in 2019, 2020. I went to New York, where I got trained and came back, went through the ramping process, got certified, and that has been 5 years, almost 6. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a journey that took me from Vancouver to Amsterdam and now Dublin. Yeah.
Wow, what a story. And what excites you more about what you're doing today in Salesforce?
I think you said it in the beginning, right? Empowering people. There is a light that goes into people's eyes when they get a concept, particularly when it is a complex concept. That is a very, very empowering feeling that the users get. What I see a lot is Salesforce has been a great tool for people in career transitions, in exploring new fields, or even growing on their own field, but growing with technology. And being able to help those people in their journeys, be there changing career completely, learning something new, or just learning a little bit more about something that they are passionate, that has been really great. And it really makes me excited every time I get into a classroom.
Oh, I can feel that. Yeah. And back to our topic of Agentforce, we are hearing and talking right now about AI and still many, in my field, many commercial real estate leaders wonder where to start. And Agentforce definitely offers a way in. And that's exactly what we are going to explore today. But what kinds of companies you see, Andrea, or maybe teams that's making and taking these first steps in Agentforce? Maybe you see some common patterns.
Oh my God. There's forget about silos, forget about technology for the IT team and not for me. Technology is for everybody. But AI has been such a democratization of this knowledge even further, because if you don't know how to write a code, you can ask help for the AI and you can write a code. Does this code is completely correct? Does this code needs adjustment? Yes, probably. But it's a starting point, so it makes learning much easier for a lot of people. So you see now, even people that don't work with technology day to day, they're using this even for curiosity to plan a trip or to schedule a reservation of a hotel or of a restaurant, right? What Agentforce brings on this, it's a way for you to easily build and deploy that agent to make your business more efficient, and not just in the limbo, by creating that connection with your data. So if you have your Salesforce data and you put your agent on top of it, you ground, as we call, that interaction with your customer with that data in your sales cloud, in your service cloud, in your commerce cloud. So when you talk to the customer, there is that familiarity as if you were talking to a person. Yeah, it doesn't replace the person. It's not here to replace us, but to make our work better. Because instead of focusing on that simple question, the reset my password is a classic comment. But instead of focusing on that simple question, the agent can actually handle more complex issues for the customer. So that the handoff, the escalation is much easier.
So would you say this is maybe the most popular problem that the companies are solving right now with Agentforce?
No, I mentioned to you that I was listening into Todd's podcast, and he said something that really resonated with me. That we need to start from the problem. It's not, oh, there's the technology I'm going to imply here. It's really understanding what is my problem that I really need solving, and then finding the technology that fits in. What I mean by this is, in the words of Simon Sinek, is it starts with why. Right? So I think you have to always understand, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why this is happening? Why should I change? Why this fits for me? So I think there is use cases for most organizations, but really understanding what is the problem I'm trying to resolve. That will give me that edge to really know how to implement Agentforce in a more effective way. And there are commonalities. A lot of companies need better customer services. Don't get me started with this, because I had a major problem with an internet provider in Dublin that if they had an agent, I could see that being a much better user experience.
Okay, if you hear us, an internet provider in Dublin, please contact and we'll help you to set up an agent, or at least we will share with you this real use case, right? Because it's all, as you said, it's all about the use cases. Speaking of the use cases, what's one example you think is relevant to showing the power of AI agents for real estate companies?
That is Escape. They have about 38 properties. They serve 18,000, I believe, students from across the globe. So students coming from abroad to live in Australia, and they need accommodations. So what they needed to find, it is a way to serve the students. There can be arriving in the middle of the night or in the day, might have questions about accommodations or bookings. So they have Agentforce helping them assist those students 24/7 in a more direct way. And if the cases needs escalation, handing this off with data. So they are using Data Cloud, they are using Sales Cloud, they're using Tableau. And it's not that they are using those tools just willy-nilly. They're actually using those tools together to have the Power Data Cloud with using different types of data, structured data, non-structured data, using data from chats, using data from PDF files, and enriching that conversation for the agent, using Tableau to have different views of that data inside the system, seeing how that's performing, how is that, what kind of insights they can get it, having that Sales Cloud customer view and inside of it. So really using different tools to empower their agent to have that interaction more personalized to their customers. In the background, they have the benefit of the 360 view, because now it doesn't matter if they're looking at Marketing Cloud, they're looking at field service, they see the customer as a whole. And for them, it's a very big gain in productivity, because they know exactly when the customer talked to you or to me and what was the problem in there.
Oh, wow. I think for those who are new to Salesforce, all these terms like Data Cloud, Sales Cloud,
Yeah.
and Customer 360 would be new. How would you describe this tool set for someone who's just starting with AI and thinking about implementing Agentforce, but doesn't know much about Salesforce in general?
Okay, so what is Salesforce? Salesforce is a customer relationship management tool, right? A CRM. And what this means is that when I go to your business and I introduce myself, you ask my name, you ask my email, my telephone number, because you want to follow up on an appointment or something, you register this in a CRM, in the case Salesforce, and it's all in the cloud. So you don't have a hardware or a computer tower that you'll have that, as we used to have in the past. Not want to date myself, but yeah. So what happens is, depending on the purpose of your business or what you're trying to do, you would have different clouds. So you would have Sales Cloud for your sales activities that would have a lot of potential. But if you do a lot of customer service and you really want to enhance the customer case management experience, you can have Service Cloud. You can use Marketing Cloud to strengthen the relationships and really target communication with your customers. Data Cloud, you can have a huge amount of data managing in a way that you can interact with the other clouds and really power Agentforce or even your customer relationship activities at sales or service with that data that you're storing from all the different data sources that you have in your organization. This is in a very summarized way, because we have so many different clouds and products that you can use, right? The reason this works well with Agentforce is because Agentforce is native to Salesforce. In a few minutes, you can plug in and really get that working. So to give you an example, I was in London last week for a class, and one of the students had this idea about using Agent to do a search online to contextualize their sales development teams, their SDRs research. So before they go and call to a lead, they wanted to get a little bit of internet research. So in the class, in the break, he went there and he created this agent to go online and search for the lead and get that quick search for the agents in there next to the lead. Next thing, he comes to me by the end of the day and say, hey, I figured it out, the issue that we troubleshooted. I got that resolved on my own org. So we troubleshooted on the test environment, but then he went in the live production testing. His organization said, I already have 4 people testing this until the end of the week. And if it goes right, I'm launching on Monday. So in a half a day, he was able to have an idea on how to use Agent to assist their teams. And it was already in testing by the end of that day. So if you have a clear use case, as we were talking, if you have a clear why, you have a clear problem, it's easy for you to understand what you need to do and then go building and quickly deploy to your customers, your users as well.
Yeah, thanks, Andrea, for simplifying and summarizing what Salesforce is and technology and how Agentforce plays a role in it. I liked also the use case about public search. We would want something like that. So let me tell you a story. I worked on a project where we've built an agent for commercial real estate use case, and it was one of the use cases was about the research. So when an agent or a broker has the potential buyer or tenant, they can use an agent in Salesforce to just telling them what they heard from this potential client and immediately receive a result. Without using the typical tools like filtering and surfing through the data, they got the result. But they would want to have something if they don't have this data in their system. They would want to have this data researched in the public and internet. But there is a problem, and seasoned commercial real estate professionals would say, "Oh, you don't have all the data public." But still, you can augment, you can enrich your data. You can get something that helps you analyze and receive much more value from the system just by using additional tool, a tool that replaces or simplifies something that is time consuming.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's effective. Yeah, and I started this story about the commercial real estate use case, and I think for someone who has a good use case but doesn't have any AI expertise, what would be your recommendation on how to start to scope their first project, Andrea?
If they're brand new to Salesforce or to Agentforce, they can start on Trailhead. I think Trailhead is a great tool that Salesforce has for learning. It's a gamified way, so you can win points and badges. And really, I have a lot of fun on that thing, so I'm kind of suspect. But I think Trailhead can be a good start point because it's an easy way, small bites that you can do to start learning the concepts. So you start Trailhead. Is that all? No, there's a lot more. There's a lot of documentation on the help engine. Fine. But we also have a series called Views of Virtual Interactive Workshops. Those views are delivered online with a certified instructor such as myself. And what we do in those views is exactly help you learn the concept and put that in practice right then and there. So this is how we can help you to get there. Is that all? No, there is a lot of resources. So get an account on ChatGPT if you haven't yet, or other LLMs or other AI tools. Not LLMs, pardon. Other AI tools, but to really start playing with it. We have Siri on the phone, or you have Google Gemini, you have Alexa as well, right? A lot of people have Alexa. So those are different ways that AI is in our life already for quite some time. And start asking questions to your day-to-day. Start asking questions, how do I do this? And even if you ask, how can I build an agent for this? It kind of can help you on that. If you go on Salesforce help website, you would see that there is an agent over there. You can ask that agent and it will support you with additional resources that it also can get to the resolution. But before you get to this, I will go back to what we talked before is understand your use case. I was talking to someone the other day and they were saying, oh, we are implementing the Agentforce to help us create new users when the people was coming into the organization. So they're trying to have something. So the manager hires someone, they can just ask the agent and the agent will create that user in the system for them. Make sure that I have the right permissions and so forth. So there is one way that the admin in us, the developer in us, can use Agentforce to help us. So there is different ways that you can do that. If you haven't started yet, you have to start now because the future is with AI. And it, again, it's not replacing us, but it's making our lives easier. And as soon as you get started, faster you're going to be going, right?
Right. I completely agree with you, Andrea, on that. Yeah, I think we've covered a lot in terms of use cases as well. Do you have maybe an insight for us on the misconceptions that you often hear when it comes to AI or using AI inside Salesforce?
One thing that I hear a lot in people asking is that, oh, so now we can fire all my agents, all my people agents, and just have use Agentforce. I think this is, in a way, a misconception. While
Mm-hmm.
the agent is might replace a lot of people, AI in general, it's not to replace us, but reinvent the way we do business. If we think about the first industrial revolution, that we start doing things in factories and we start mechanizing things, a lot of people lost their jobs, yeah, but there was also a lot of people that learned how to do things in a different way in order to get new jobs. Who was saying? I think it was Todd again that was mentioning that in the past you would have a lot of people registering all the transactions manually in paper, and all of a sudden the spreadsheets came out and people were freaking out. Oh my God, what's gonna? No, there was a series of new jobs created with that. So it's AI, right? So for commercial real estate, by example, it's not going to replace the person's calling, but it might help you, because when you go and make that call, you already have the information of the customer, or you can have an agent that's going to send an email to that customer to confirm an appointment, or you will have an agent that will verify the best locations for that prospect before you even call, so you have that information in your hand. So me person, I spend more time actually talking to my customers and really driving that sale than doing the administrative work of researching. I have to validate that, but I'm more comfortable just doing the things that I'm good at, that
Mm-hmm.
is talking to people and selling. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if there is one thing I took from today's conversation is that you don't have to be an AI expert or tech expert to start building AI solution. What you need is a real use case. You need right support and the mindset open to learning, right?
Yeah, I like that you pose in this way. I think I mentioned to you before, we have a lot of resources online, and if you Google something about Salesforce, there will be so many resources. But we do have also a podcast, and I'm sorry that I'm plugging another podcast here, but just because it talks about what you just said, it's about curiosity as being the key to learn Agentforce and to learn AI, right? So we live in an era that if you're curious, open to learn, and really put on some effort on connecting with people, doing good things and doing the things that relates to where you want to go, you will learn. Even without noticing, you will learn, because AI is it's all over the place, and you just need to open the news. There is some new advancement, or something new going on. So just being curious and really trying to understand and trying to adapt to the new ways of working, that would take you a long way.
Yeah, so from your perspective as an instructor, like we talked about the mindset, maybe you can share with us what skills do you think are most helpful for the teams starting with AI agents?
Like I said, curiosity, a learner mindset. So really thinking about, what am I learning here? How can I apply that? Communication is
Mm-hmm.
also good. AI is a fantastic tool, but knowing how to ask the question is important. It doesn't replace us the ways we're asking, because if I say, how do I do this, it would give me an answer. But then I say, how do I do this in a manner that is constructive, it's going to give me a different answer. And as I refine this question, it would give me different answers. So having that patience of really talking to the agent, if you will, to really refine the questions and really getting to that, it will be a great skill to have. And really having the strategic mindset as well, I think. But really thinking strategically, what is the priority here, and how do I get started, and start small to get to the big picture. I think it will take you further.
Oh yeah, I like this strategic thinking and communication skills because it's so important, and many people I think don't realize how, for example, prompt engineering is like a technical term, and someone would think, oh, it's I need to have some skills, I need to understand how to code, I need to be a developer to learn prompt engineering, but in the under the surface, it's just a communication skill. If you know how to communicate, if you know how to ask questions, if you're really good or if you're developing this skill, then you eventually become better prompt engineer.
Absolutely. And I think what a lot of people forget is, oh, I'm going to do this and forget about it. No, you have to iterate. You have to come back and you have to do it again. So I need to understand what is my problem. I have to develop, create what I'm going to do. I'm going to develop that. I'm going to test. I'm going to deploy, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to evaluate, and so forth. Right. So it's a what you say is perfect. Like the prompt engineering is a clear example, because it's not just put it there and it's done. It's put it there and testing, and oh, is this the LLM that I need to use here? No, let's try a different LLM. Let's try a different question. Let's try a different grounding way, right? And as you refine that, then you have something that is good enough for version 1. So that is something that is important to ideate, develop, test, rephrase, and then put it out.
So I like that we've covered a lot of use cases, and some of those use cases that you mentioned, we are actually building some products already, but I hesitate to mention that we are building something because, in our industry, the clients, they get scarce because they tried already to do something and it didn't go well. Maybe they invested money, resources, and so what really important at this point is to say, to share that, hey, we've built already something and you can try it, or we've built it and we failed and we know how to build it better.
But that's the beauty of things, right? Because when you failed, you learned. If we think about Einstein, Benjamin Franklin, and all those good guys that invented everything that we know, they tried many times and they failed many times. But the secret is that they learned from those failures and they grew, right? It's not to say that if you're taking an exam, by example, if you're trying to get certified in Salesforce in engineering, I bet that you have tons of certifications. But you have to go to the exam. You might pass in the first try for one, but you might not pass for a few times in another. And I bet with you, the ones that you didn't pass for many times is the one that you know the most, the subjects, because you had to go back and learn, really learn and try different things to learn that concept.
Yeah, would you mind sharing if you had any failures in
Oh,
your?
many times, many times. So I just talked about certifications. Not all certifications that I take, I pass first, right? So I mentioned to you that at my first implementation, I was doing a project for 50 users, which I'm extremely grateful. It was an undeniable great opportunity. I learned a lot. But I was doing my first implementation by myself with data migration, with organization design. Of course, there was mistake over there. I merged contacts that were not supposed to be merged, or I merged customer accounts that were not supposed to be merged. So let's go back and clear the data again and redo this migration, or let's rethink this architecture, or there is a new feature that I'm not including in my design, but that's exactly what my stakeholders want, and then I get them redo this. I redo with the new features. Like, why didn't you bring this before? It's like, yeah, because this is not yet fully done. It's just a beta. But those things that you learn along the way, right? And then because you learn to read people. So you're really trying to understand. But one thing that I learned is don't take orders. Please. There are occasions where you need to take orders. If cabin crew tells you to put the life vest, please put the life vest. Okay. But what I'm talking about is that when you're in an organization and you're developing a software, don't take orders. Ask why. Ask why do you asking this? What is the problem? And really, really be a 3-year-old and ask questions. Be curious. Be a learner. Because sometimes it's not what people are telling you. It's what they don't know that is the problem. So if you ask the questions, if you press them a little bit on why is this a problem, then you will understand what is the problem, and you will be quicker and more efficient on developing the solution, and they will be much happier. But if you just take the order, I need a new object, and if you don't ask why, you give the object, but in reality they want a report, you didn't really fulfill what they need, and now you waste time to do something that was not needed, and you need to go back and do it again.
Yeah, that's a great advice. I have the same mindset, and I often like to add something to that. When you ask question, when you press a little bit, or maybe a little bit too much, or you push back on some ideas with your clients or your boss, it's very important to show the genuine uh, intent of finding a good solution for everyone, because you can do it, and this is another skill of one of the sides of communication, right?
Yeah.
You need to learn, and it works with people, and it works with AI as well in different fashion, but still you need to be thinking critically.
Yeah, and I think you have a great point. Is what's in it for me, right? So it's coming from this perspective that we are in the same team. If I'm a consultant or if I'm an in-house developer, I'm developing to make your life better.
Let's connect our expertise and find the right solution.
Exactly.
I think at this point we've got an understanding of Agentforce and how AI agents are helping commercial real estate business today, how they are changing the landscape. What is your take on the next chapter in commercial real estate and AI agents? How do you see that?
Oh, great question. So Agentforce is it's a turntable, right? So it's a great opportunity to have an agent that helps your team to identify properties, assets at risk, or optimize portfolios, or helping you identify the top properties to provide your sales team to discuss with your customers. So there is that side of things. You can have an agent that we have an agent that can help you to identify the leads and start talking that leads, nurturing that lead, send an email or confirm an appointment or a call with that agent, and really make sure that when your salesperson sits down with the customer, that conversation is not a cold call. It's actually a warm conversation. There was already something going on over there. It can be embedded in your properties and analyzing the life cycle and really helping you make a clear decision when acquiring new properties, helping your customers. A great opportunity for your customers to have an agent to talk about questions. You might have an agent that will support your customers understanding better areas to live or types of properties, and really doing that conversational interactions and finding the properties that they need for their business, for themselves, through the agent. So it's a great potential for the commercial real estate to have different types of agents supporting their teams internally or their customers.
Wow, thanks. A lot of different and really good examples of how we can use agents in future, and I believe it's just limited with our imagination, because it's technology. If you have a really good idea, if you see the real problem in your business today, just try it, because this it's real, it's possible, it's here. Thank you, Andrea, for this really insightful and inspirational conversation. I'm glad to have you here today.
Thank you so much. It was great joining you, and I hope everyone tried out Agentforce. It's really fun.
Yeah, and thank you for tuning in to the Concrete Voice. If this sparked any ideas, share it with someone in your team. And if you're ready to start exploring AI in commercial real estate, now is the right moment. Until next time, and keep making the concrete steps.